We are live. We are live. Hello and welcome to. Here, rewind the song. Welcome to Movie Crap Live on this fine Thursday. First of all, I want to say thank you to Super Dusky for that very nice good luck to me on the stream. Thank you very much, man. That is awesome. I will send that, even though I did forget to post Blue Sky. Oh, okay. I can hear myself now. Thank you. I did forget Blue Sky earlier today. But yes, this is Movie Crap Live. A weird day, a sad day, a strange day, but all of that sounds like David Lynch to me. But yes, hello, Sinram, Ramsey the artist, Jordan Salafalo, Nathaniel Foga. I believe I saw Austin was there. Kane the Wolfox. Javier Portello, William Ellman. We have a crew tonight. Taco Master, Purple Goop. Look at all this. Ryan Walterson's here. Zane Powers is here. I got the whole crew with me up in here. Up in here, as Mr. DMX would say. David Lynch would. I agree. He would have wanted it weird. All right, let's switch over. Is the music still playing? No, it is not. Hello. I'm here. Yay. I'm in the set one or something. Anyway, I'm in the regular setup, I guess. So thank you for... Oh, I didn't know it did that. Okay. Sorry, I'm just noticing something. I don't have priorities. Thanks, Ryan. I thought I said Austin. Sadly, I don't think David Lynch saw Gravity Falls. That sucks. Maybe he did. I mean, he did have a kid who was younger. Hello, Cornbread again. I think I said hello, Cornbread, but just in case. I don't know if he did or not. But cheers to you, Taco. Hold on, I need to actually have my... Cheers to you, Taco Master. Thank you for the first super chat of the night. So the energy drink, I found this at a bodega. I'd never heard of it before. It's called 3X Energy. I just saw it and I was like, well, it's different. It's an energy drink. That's the thing here. Did both. Nice syndrome. But thank you, Taco Master, for that. Cheers to you. Let's see how this tastes. I'm sorry, regular energy drink. But yeah, apparently, I don't know why anyone would turn down Gravity Falls, but I'm curious if he saw it because he did have a kid. He had a kid was born, about 11 when he did the math, which I feel bad for that kid today. Show the can closer, Zodberg. Oh, hello, Zodberg. Do you want me to show? That's right. See, it's like 3X Energy. I've never heard of this before. But every time I see a different one, I just get it. And I got this when I saw it. Anyway. We are going to talk... David Lynch will probably be the first subject. Kermit fell over. But I wanted to talk about a few things. And we will talk about David Lynch. Because it's weird and crazy and unexpected and all those things. What was I going to say? Okay. Two things. Oh, hello, William Ellman. Hello. I saw the new Michael Gracie Monkey musical. I would put it in league of recent films like Beau's Afraid and Megalopolis when you're watching millions of dollars earn on screen. Oh, that's an interesting comparison. William Ellman. Thank you. Oh, and I got a black saxophone too. We're starting off strong tonight. Cheers to you, William. I would agree with you. That might be my next review. Is Better Man because we saw it for my wife's birthday. It was a lot of fun. So cheers to you. Lynch should remake Paul Blart. Honestly, true art. To be honest with you, I think he could about the underbelly, a horrible, like Evils of Suburbia thing. I think would work. So, but anyway, cheers to you also, Black Sax Michael. I saw your comment Cornbread, and I hope this doesn't give me tapeworm. I think it just tastes like energy drink. Now you've made me worried. I do have another one that's just a regular one, but I do try it. Anyway, thank you for those super chats. Okay, so the what was it? Two things. I'm trying to narrow this down. Oh, we have been watching Skeleton Crew with the kids, and Oscar's getting more into Star Wars, which is fun. But I kind of, I think, I don't know if I've said this on here before, but I try to pick Star Wars that I think he would be interested in. So he's seen the first Star Wars, 77, and I don't want to play Empire because the thing he hates the most is when grown-ups talk in movies. So I feel like Empire Strikes Back isn't the right choice for him. I was gonna do Return of the Jedi, but he really liked seeing kids in Star Wars, so I showed him the trailer of Phantom Menace, and he keeps bringing it up. So I actually think we're gonna watch it before the next week's show because everyone's out except for him and me. So that'll be interesting to watch Phantom Menace. But I don't know, when I show stuff with my kids, I try to appeal to them rather than being like, no, this is how it is. So, but it's kind of fun. He's been liking the Star Wars books and getting into that. That's been neat. Oh, wait, William Elman, I want to know what you're saying there. Please rewrite that. That was interesting, and you took it away before I finished it. The other thing, so I saw this thing on Jeopardy, and this really, I was just like shocked. I was shocked by this. So I haven't watched Jeopardy in a little bit, but YouTube just showed me Final Jeopardy was the Muppets, and I was like, all right, I'll watch this. And so it's a Celebrity Jeopardy. I don't know who two of the celebrities are, but the middle one is Neil deGrasse Tyson. And the question, as it's phrased, I forget which Muppet thing this was in, but I remember this isn't a Muppet thing, that there are three cases that the Muppets used to ship them or travel in places. One said frog for Kermit, one said bear for Fozzie, and one says whatever. And who is in the whatever case. And in my mind, I'm like, this is fucking easy. It's the Muppets. And the first person answers it correctly. And they say, oh, that's most... See, I don't know who these people were at all. I showed Ryan the clip. Because I was like, Ryan's gonna... Hello, Chan Talks More Movies, and hello, Mantello Butterfly, by the way. But, so I said this right. But, yeah, it's obviously Gonzo. Okay, so the first lady answers... First lady answers Gonzo. Great person. Hello, Paisley K. That's an interesting name. Gonzo. Perfect. I don't know who she is, but she gets it. She wins. Neil deGrasse Tyson said Snuffleupagus. Now, I'm sorry. What the actual fuck? Are you serious? Like, Snuffleupagus is hanging out with Kermit and Fozzie? That guy knows nothing about it. It like actually kind of annoys me. Because first off, the characters on Sesame Street are Muppets, but they're not part of the Muppets. There's a difference. And second, if he's supposed to be Mr. Smart Science Guy, how doesn't he not know who Gonzo is? Like, I'm sorry, Gonzo is from space, and he's supposed to be a genius space person, and he doesn't know anything from Gonzo? Like, I cannot, I don't know. I'm just like, fuck Neil deGrasse Tyson. I didn't have a lot of respect for him. I flat out didn't, but now, just like, done. I have no respect for people who miss it. I did see the super chat. I will get to it. I want to make fun of him. The other person said animal, which I'll give them that. I will give them that because that, sure, lady, you thought about it. Neil deGrasse Tyson, the fact that he didn't even care about the Muppets, fuck him. But the other lady, I'm like, you know what? I'll give you a pass because that's at least a member of the Muppets. But lost a lot of respect. I was just shocked that was not an easy one for everyone. I guess people aren't engaged with the Jim Henson properties you should be. Just, oh my God. Anyway, hold on. I want to get this first reach out. Sorry, Bloxy. Don't worry, nothing can live in an energy drink for long. Thank you. It's been kind of extremely cold, although I know there's a lot of Canadians who would laugh at me if I said that. But, cheers to you. So I'm not sick, but I have like a little sniffles. Here's you. William Allman. Sorry, this is a comment I want to read. David Lynch and his daughter were supposed to make a murder mystery movie in St. Louis, where I live in the early 2000s. they were out here scouting locations a lot, but it never happened. I remember hearing about that. I don't know. I am curious about what the deal was with him, because he went through a lot of wives. I have no evidence what happened. Maybe he picked weird people or something, which is probably what happened. But anyway, I just noticed that. That's all I'm saying. I don't have any evidence. It's just when you look at the Wikipedia, you're like, whoa, that's a lot of wives there. Austin says, not Bill Nye, Jim. Bill Nye would know. You know what? I agree, Austin. Cheers to you, sir. Normies should know Muppet questions. Thank you, George Slafalo. Oh, we have a lot of Better Man. Okay, I was nervous because I was like, should Better Man be the Friday review? And now I'm feeling better about it. JJ Panda, thank you for the super chat, said, saw Better Man. Honestly, it's quite the achievement. It feels like a cool 2000s, early 2010s music video. The story had me in tears at the end. Oh, fuck yeah. Okay, cool. Cool. Cheers to you, JJ Panda. Okay. All right, the other thing, and I don't know if anyone cares about that. I do, look, I listen to the hip-hop and stuff, and sometimes I'll listen to legacy rap, which I think like people like AZ and Nas are particularly really good at. And even that recent L Cool J album he put out was like fine. I stopped listening to songs from it. The song he did with Eminem was actually pretty cool. But there's a new Snoop Dogg album. It's a big deal because it is Dr. Dre producing a whole Snoop Dogg album, which is the first time that's happened since Doggy Style, which is a big album. And it was a big album for me growing up, so I was excited. And then I listened to it, and it's not really good. But I will say, if you're like me, and you're like, but I've waited for this album forever, what of there is to enjoy? I will tell you the 3 songs. One of them, I should have opened my... Well, I'll get my phone for the third one. But first one, Method Man is on the song. He's like the only person who's like really isn't being overly produced by Dr. Dre kind of thing. He's like comes in with this insane energy that like nobody in that album is ready for, called Skyscrapers. The Guns and Smoke, which is the 50 Cent Eminem, the group thing, actually is good. And then Out of the Blue, which the chorus uses the MIA thing. That's lame, but the energy of it goes. But I'll be honest with you, it doesn't really work. The rest of it doesn't really work as well. And I think like when he did that Compton thing, he did like cooler things with the drum beats, and like, why isn't Kendrick? I like Kendrick Lamar shows up for these guys and then dips out when he needs to. But I don't know. It kind of feels like Dr. Dre it can get into experimentation in some places, but often doesn't. And I agree with you, William Elman, about his current production. I think sometimes those 3, if you're going to listen to it, just listen to those 3. And if you want to go beyond that, anyway, I just wanted to share that with someone, I guess, but I like those 3. And then anytime I listen to anything else, I get bored. But those 3 are cool, even though one of them has a really overused MIA sample. Anyway, sorry. Sometimes I like to talk about other things. I just want to... Anyway, Austin says, if you have a Muppet question... If you have a Muppets question, ask Ryan. That's what I do. Trust me, any Muppets thing is brought up to Ryan. Cheers to you, Austin. What else was I going to say? Oh, okay. Let's just do... Kermit. Jeez, man. Falling over a lot. What was I going to say? Okay, so I wanted to have a video out last night, but I was actually shooting like a ton of stuff last night, so I didn't have one because I kept having so many. I shot like a bunch of stuff, including Were Rabbit. I am going to talk about the matter of Loaf and Death, the final Wallace and Gromit kind of short. Because I'm doing a series, I realized there is a production of. There's like a show of Wallace and Gromit that is like shorts. That I noticed I can't get all of access to, and I'm kind of just going to leave that alone. But Were Rabbit, I'm hoping this weekend, and then The Better Loaf of Death, and then I'll review the new movie. But yeah, I'm glad I got the Chili Willy thing because I thought it's really cool. It's really cold. Chili Willy needs to happen. But Throwbacks, I posted because it's been about 20 years. I realized I didn't post this in the Throwback thing. I'm not sure why. But it's the 20th anniversary of the music video from film school, The Get Down Syndrome. The only music video I ever directed that is not featuring me at all. I'm not in it. I just directed it. And I don't know. I like it. It's cool. I'm glad to repost it. This is going to be the last year I have any film school films in the Throwbacks because unless they unless suddenly one of them becomes relevant for whatever reason, but there's no real anniversary. So there's that one and another one that'll happen closer in the fall. But yeah, that was the throwback earlier, and there's going to be a throwback on Saturday for my review of the Wolfman, the original Universal monster movie. And I might have hello Dan, how's it going? And I might have a short talking about the Wolfman thing, but Wolfman is weird because I think he's probably the only Universal monster character where when you think of werewolves, I think you think of other movies that aren't that movie. You know what I mean? Anyway, I have a little short talking about it if I get it out in time, but we'll see. But yeah, it's cool that so many of you liked Better Man. You guys always surprise me. I kind of like that. But yeah, thank you for liking the Chili Willy thing and all the various things. I was happy to get to because me and the kids, like anytime Chili Willy's on, everybody's like Chili Willy. Like everybody loves Chili Willy in my house. So I was like, I gotta get this video out. I feel bad. I haven't helped out Chili Willy, And post on the ice wall. I have it linked in the thing. Post on the guest book that's still going. I posted one with the URL of the video. Be like, hey, it's in this video. And they said it had to be approved. So I don't know if it ever did that. Wolfman Better of Nards. You know what? I love Monster. I showed that to Sophie one year. That's a fun. I'll probably show that to Oscar. I didn't see that movie until I had COVID. And that's a good, man. I didn't see that until I was older. But that is a good horror kids movie. That's a good one. Anyway, the Wolfman. They did a good job. I don't know why. Anyway, I like that movie. I've noticed it's like horror people know it, but like outside of that, people are like, what's Monster Squad? I'm like, you don't know culture. What Chili Willy? Chili Willy, I mean, him and Woody do adventures a lot, so. But I like Chili Willy. I mean, I also think Chili Willy, there's been various reboots of Woody Woodpecker, and my kids like watching the 90s Woody Woodpecker, and the Chili Willys in the 90s one are still fairly solid. Like, I'm not joking, Chili Willy is solid in almost every iteration. It's like unless he talks, but if you do the basic rules of a Chili Willy short, it typically works. They really, as long as, he's like trying to get food and being a rascal works. Also, Austin signed the ice wall. I was going to check. I was checking the day of. So thank you, Austin. Cheers to you. Cheers to you. I do have a sign up there, but I think they should let me. Did it take away my heart or something? Anyway, that was weird. Anyway, cheers to you, Austin. I think that's everything to talk about. Right? I can't think of anything. All right. Let's move on to the actual show. All right, so this and everything I do is supported by you, the fans, either through Super Chats during the show, which you guys have been really nice about very early in the show, and I appreciate that, or through my Patreon, which has all sorts of cool stuff, including including I actually reposted the Get Down Syndrome commentary, which is Patreon exclusive. I reposted that. I also did, if you want the link to the playlist of all my movie stuff for my public access show, you can have that. A couple people asked me for that. So those are exclusive to the Patreon, as well as you get on my commentary series, you get postcards, which that'll go out next week. The totals of the movie review vote, all sorts of cool exclusive stuff like that. it's really a great way to support the show and support the channel and let me be able to do things, everything like that. And it's great. And I might, and yeah, you get all sorts of exclusive stuff. And if you want help finding stuff or finding exclusive playlists or something, let me know. But all that exclusive stuff is on the Patreon also. I feel like I'm not saying this well. There's a Patreon. Go to it if you financially are able to do so. If not, just subscribing or liking this post very much helps, or commenting or whatever. It's really good. But if you are scared of thumbs up buttons and haven't signed into YouTube or something and just watch this, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for doing so. Any support at all, even watching, is very much appreciated. Thank you for being here, and that's awesome. William, before I do the Discord, I didn't forget the Discord. Nobody get mad at me. William says, I love how in the original Wolfman, Claude Rains is supposed to be Long Shooter's dad. Like, how does that work? Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen the Wolfman, but yeah. Am I going to MomoCon? Probably not. I don't. Saber there was a couple years ago where Saber had an open invitation, but it's like, I have 2 kids. It's like kind of hard. I think when they're older, I'll maybe do that again if that's still a thing. But I don't have plans, and they have not asked me. And Saber, and I would probably end up going with him because I still work for him. But there's no pizza party anymore. So unless there's like, they want to fly everybody out, but I think that'd be a bit much. So I don't know. I don't think I'm doing a con for a while. I would like to. I miss it. I actually had an interesting experience where somebody commented on my BronyCon video, the last one, and had it in their watch later forever, and that was interesting to revisit that. I was like, I kind of miss cons. Anyway, sorry for that. Thank you, Remiku Haraku Shrine. Cheers to you, William Elman. Thank you very much. I don't know. Wolfman, not my favorite. I'm not actually sure when I'm going to see that, because I kind of feel like I need to see The Brutalist, so. It's okay, man. It's cool. I know I don't post the, oh, cool, Gray Sky Man. And yes, yeah, I have 2 kids. One of them's 3. The younger one. All right. If you like this community here, sorry, I almost fucked that up. If you like this community here in the chat, it is on the Discord, which is really awesome and amazing. They do a daily question. They have a licensed playing card channel, which I really need to post these. That is my bad on that one. There's the Ask Jim channel. There's a Suggested for Jim channel. There are channels that have nothing to do with me that you can do all that stuff there. There's all sorts of cool. It's a really great community. And if you're always like, hey, this is a cool community, I'd like to be, this is a cool community, I would like to be a part of it. You can. There's no real barrier for entry. Just don't be an asshole. And you can join the Discord and talk with us and all this stuff. It's the Discord I'm most active in. They do movie watches every week. I don't know what they're going to do. Thank you, Sinram, for that. They're watching Curse of the Were-Rat. Awesome. Is that Saturday? That might be the day my review goes up. So I think that would be cool. I will hello, Lee K. I am talking about the director of Josie and Supergirl later. But yes, you should. Also, I have a TikTok. Well, that exists. Instagram, Facebook fan page, Tumblr, Blue Sky, Twitter. It's all, if there's a social media thing and you're like, is he on that? It's in all the videos have a list of them. So if you're just like, I'm on Tumblr, I'm on the Facebook, I'm on all of them, and you can do that there. Okay. Yes, that is crazy swear of it because I was planning to do the review. That's an interesting. I actually didn't know that till now. Okay, so it's the first image of the thumbnail. It was honestly, to me, a huge news story. It really fucked with me. But David Lynch died today. We don't really know, although I've seen reports that we knew he had emphysema. That is not news. I don't know if I talked about it here or anything like that, but he did have emphysema. He was like a lifelong smoker. I think he smoked before the age of 10, I was reading. I don't know if that's true, but he smoked a lot, and he did get emphysema. And supposedly, from what I've read, when he was moved during the LA fires, his condition worsened, and that's sort of what did him in. To our limited understanding. I'm sure we'll know more as time goes on, but that seems to be what happened. David Lynch for me, and I think for everyone, is this unique, different, weird, odd director who can do, honestly, who was able to be his own weird, unique vision and be, a big deal. And Twin Peaks was a huge TV show. Eraserhead was a huge midnight movie. It felt like he both was the weirdest director, a surrealist director, but also could amass a following and stuff like that. But also, from my own perspective, I always sort of knew about him. He was sort of in his heyday. I actually didn't think about this till now. But one of the reasons I found out about him, I'm not even joking, is through my grandmother, because she took a film class. And I don't know why the teacher was comparing Blue Velvet and Citizen Kane. I do not remember, but she kept wanting to talk to my mom about Blue Velvet. My mom was like, the kids are around. I don't want to talk about Blue Velvet right now. My grandma was like, but it's really interesting in this class. Anyway, so that's how I heard about David Lynch from my grandmother. But I had a cool grandma. Oma was awesome. I think for me, what it was is it felt weird. It felt unapproachable. It felt like the possibilities of filmmaking, really, and how you could do things differently. You look at something like, I remember Blue Velvet, I wasn't allowed to see for a long time. I remember happening upon Twin Peaks when it was on Bravo, when Bravo wasn't the gay history channel as people joke of it now. It was had Inside the Actors Studio and things like that. It played on Friday nights, and I think I caught the second episode. I caught early in season 1. And then it became what I did Fridays I was obsessed, and people wanted me to shut the fuck up. But I was very obsessed with Twin Peaks. I actually, believe it or not, I'm more of a season 1 fan than anything. I'm not more of a the other. I don't love season 2 after they reveal the killer, and I don't actually love. I'm not the biggest Return fan. I know some people are, but I like all the other stuff of Inland Empire and all that stuff. I don't know. I just found him to be so different and so odd and so interesting and so threatening, and the idea of the evil behind what America had become. And it's one of the few people who noticed the initial evil of suburbia and the white mediocrity we have going on and things like that, but also just the odd, different director that he was, the surrealism that he often used, the why we have Kyle MacLachlan because of him. There's just, I don't know, he inspired so much, he changed so much. He was a one of a kind director. I mean, I don't even think I could really compare him to anyone else, but yeah, when I was first getting into movies and started making films and in high school and stuff, Twin Peaks was a big thing. Eraserhead, which my video store had, and I duped from them, and I haven't seen Eraserhead in a little bit, but I watched Eraserhead a lot. That was because Blue Velvet, everyone, when I watch that, would be weird about it. But Eraserhead, even though Eraserhead's obviously weirder, no one, oftentimes my parents and whoever was watching me or whoever was around, if they didn't know the movie, they're whatever. And so I watched Eraserhead a lot. And I don't know, just such a different, odd, unique voice. And I just think it, I don't know, it bummed me out. And I'm often, I think in recent years, the cult of him, not him himself, but the cult of him annoyed the shit out of me because I'll say I see this Riverdale thing that's going in the chat here. The first season of Riverdale was very Twin Peaks influence. So I don't think I agree with that comparison. That season 1 of Riverdale was a Twin Peaks teen mystery show. That's basically what they were doing. So I agree with that, actually. I liked the first season of Riverdale, and then I dropped off at a certain point. Though all those actors are really talented. The cult of him, or the idea of anytime I went to the IFC center, they'd have that thing of him talking about how he almost did Return of the Jedi, which is funny, but they played that short like every fucking movie, and they'd always like have like quirky quotes from David Lynch, and at a certain point, it's like it was fun seeing the stories today, but I've seen something like the Woody Woodpecker story, the Return of the Jedi story, all those kind of stories I heard so many times that like, and this was when I was obsessed with high school. I see these stories, and then like by the time there's Twitter, I was a little like, just please shut the fuck up forever, like please stop. But I think like he was very good at marketing himself. He was a very smart director. He was also a very weird director. Inland Empire, I do find it odd that when Twin Peaks Return, people are like, because I was like, are y'all gonna like Lynch now? Because like Lynch now is not Lynch then. He got even weirder as he got older. And I am talking about 2 shorts he did tonight, which I liked, but I think someone said it's like, it's better to not explain what's going on in Lynch. It's to explain what happened on screen. And I agree with that, which I actually did unintentionally, but I saw that. Oh, he did name one of them down. Sorry. Oh, hold on. William Ellman said, "We've got chicken tonight. Strangest damn things. They're man-made little damn things, smaller than my fists, but they're new." Okay. Which is that? Is that... Oh my god, it's been a while. I need to rewatch. I and I were talking about maybe rewatching Cheers to You. Twin Peaks, which is on Paramount Plus, but The Return is on Showtime. So it's Showtime through Paramount Plus. God, streaming's stupid. Anyway, cheers to you, William Owen. Thank you for your generosity, sir. It just felt like, I don't know. It took me actually a little bit to be able to watch. That's an eraser. Here you go. Thank you, Syndrome. To like watch the stuff for the show really took the wind out of my sails, and I think it's because just him being around made filmmaking feel awesome. It sort of feels like we lost a major part of film history and filmmaking by not having him here. And I don't know if there was another film planned. I know he got a lot of things rejected by Netflix, as well as John Waters. And felt like we weren't really appreciating him for who he was. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. And I don't know if we can I don't think we'll ever have another person like him. He was such a unique, weird, odd guy. But I don't know. He's a fun guy to get into right as filmmaking as you get into movies, because he's such a different auteur voice. It makes you think you can be who you want to be despite what's going on, and as weird as you want to be and stuff like that. So yeah, pour some black. I don't have anything in my coffee, so I normally have black coffee. Caden the Wolfox said, what is it? Wait, it won't let me like it for some reason. Said, cheers to David Lynch, the master of weird. We lost a one-of-a-kind inspiration today. I agree with that. Cheers. Cheers to you, Caden. Thank you very much. I don't know. I almost feel like there's not much to say. It's like, it's hard to say things. You know what I mean? It's hard to come up with something. Because, I mean, what can you say ultimately? I think it's like the world and movies are better off that we had him and we got to live in a time with him. And, I think the period I did get to see Mulholland Drive in theaters. I saw Inland Empire. Didn't see it in theaters actually. I think I've seen everything. Maybe I haven't seen Wild at Heart, but I don't think I would be here. I think everything would be very different. But I don't know. It made me feel cool in high school to be obsessed with Twin Peaks. I had the soundtrack. I had everything. I think I overdid it in high school with David Lynch because when I get to college and people are like, have you seen David Lynch? I'm like, yeah, I've seen like all of it. But, like, it just wasn't, anyway. I don't think it's me. I'm not trying to say like, oh, I'm so cool. It's more just like, I don't know. Once I'd experienced it all, it was like, I don't know. It was definitely a period in my life in high school where, hello Malcolm, how's it going? I've been good. Was very obsessed with him, and I don't know if I ever got as obsessed, but I kind of want to peer in, and maybe I should review Eraserhead. To be honest with you, I've never reviewed a David Lynch thing, which I was like, that's embarrassing. Why haven't I? And I think it's more of the cult of him that turned me off a bit. But R.I.P. R.I.P. I'm gonna drink some water. I might have to blow my nose occasionally, but I will go off screen for that. I did notice in the thumbnail, David Lynch and Shrek, one thing they have in common, I think, is the 2002 Oscars when they both were nominated. And there was the famous image that film people love to show of, I think, whoever was it, Ron Howard won that year or whatever. And Altman and Lynch were like commiserating each other together. And that's like a big movie. I remember at the time I was like, wow, Altman and Lynch know each other? That's cool. I mean, him and Waters know each other. I wish they had done something together. I don't think they did, right? Did they? Was he in The Return? I forget The Return. I think we watched most of it, but anyway. Here's to you, David Lynch. I'd pour one out, but I'd have to clean it up myself. I don't want to do that. That's what I should do. A major person dies, a 40 should just come out and I'll like pour it all out. Then my feet would be wet with beer. My wife would get mad. She's like, why does it smell like fucking 40s? All right. Okay. It feels weird to move on, but I don't have anything else to say, I don't think. But if you're wondering, I do think if you're going to watch anything, I would watch Eraserhead. A couple of people mentioned it's on Max. I didn't check, actually. I did check Twin Peaks on Paramount Plus. I would say Elephant Man, Blue Velvet are kind of the big ones. But go out and watch. Use this as a reason. I always use these things as a reason. Don't feel stupid and be like, oh, well, everybody's watching them. No. Don't do that. Use this as a reason to get into them. There's going to be way more articles about his work right now. There's way more people talking about it. There's way more people willing to watch them with you. Don't feel stupid about that at all. You like anytime there's a top 10 list, anytime there's any reason for me to watch something like older, I can get someone to watch it. I just do it. Just fucking do it. If you've never seen David Lynch, do yourself a favor this weekend and go watch it. Have a good time. Maybe not Dune. That movie sucks. But everything else for me, I swear, every time I watch David Lynch's Dune, I like it less. I swear to you. I remember watching it with my friend. We watched it and like we got bored and we're like, what if we put it in 2 times speed? Because this fucking sucks. And even then it was too long. Jesus. Okay. Okay. So I don't really know what to say about the LA fires, because I don't live in LA. I've actually never been to LA. What if you have friends who will laugh at you? Nice thing, Powers. Cheers to you. Cheers to you, sir. But I do feel bad for them. I think it's like a huge national tragedy. It is absolutely going to change that city. There's no doubt about that. And I think because that city is so essential to filmmaking, we're going to see a major change in movies as well. And particularly gentrification of all that is going to be insane. I mean, if you see like what has happened in New Orleans and other cities when there's been national disasters there, that is 100%. It's going to be crazy in LA in terms of that. But also, so I do feel bad for everyone. Then hit him in the face, embarrassing. I don't know. I don't have much to say, although it's causing a lot of delays and a lot of things are changing and moving around and they're doing more. I think they should do more stuff for the fires. And I know there's been like a million GoFundMes and things like that, and people talking about their house, like their entire lives just burned down, and Jesus. But in terms of that, the Oscar nominations, I think I talked about last week, were moved to a Sunday, which I didn't think was a great day because the Trump inauguration was the next day, and irregardless if you want to pay attention to it or not, that will obviously suck up all of the news that day. So having the nominations the day before was not going to be a great thing for the Oscars, honestly. So it's coming out next Thursday, which works out for this show because I'm going to have a show that Thursday. So I will do an Oscar nominations breakdown as well as other news. So I will talk about that then. I was a little excited for Sunday because I could actually, watch it on TV and not have to hear about it on my way to work and stuff. And I could have watched with my kids, but it'll be interesting. But yeah, just so you're aware of that, as of right now at least, unless there's another delay, which I wouldn't be surprised if there was, it'll be happening on Thursday. What were we going? Oh, TikTok. I don't know what's happening. I'm probably gonna post Where's the Cheese finally. It's been in my drafts on TikTok forever. I was gonna do as many filters as I could find and save them before TikTok goes away. I sort of think what Trump's gonna do is do that Reagan thing and be like, no, I saved TikTok. See, I'm a great president. Yay. And that'll be, I honestly think that'll happen. I think the whole TikTok ban was just because the young people are on it and they're not being manipulated by legacy media like traditionally. Interesting thing about legacy media, I was talking to someone, this is real, about a TV show that's on a network. And I said, yeah, it's on Fox. And they go, well, I don't know about that, but it's on Hulu. And I was like, oh, wow. And anyone I talk to who's younger, they don't even think about if a show is on a network. To them, it's just on a streaming service. And I was like, yeah, kind of. Yeah, I guess that's how it is now. I don't know. It's interesting, how little power those networks have. I think that it's going to be very interesting to see what happens to legacy media in the next 10 years, which I think that entertainment industry knows because we read about those basketball, football, right things. They're very much we'll see how we're going to do this after these contracts end, which, I don't really care that much about sports, but it was very illuminating. I'm going to blow my nose real quick, and then we'll talk about Gremlins 3 and Goonies 2 and Chris Columbus, actually. Bring the tissues closer so I don't have to walk as much. Sorry. Just a little stuffed up. I'm not sick, just a little stuffed up. But, yeah, MLK Day being the inauguration is couldn't have done it Tuesday? Whatever. Hold on. Be right back. I realized I should have muted that, so I apologize. All right. I was blowing my nose. I was I did not mute that at all. Okay, so Gremlins 3 and Goonies 2 and Chris Columbus is attached to both. So if you're why would Christopher Columbus be attached to both? The director of Home Alone. He helped write both, I believe, right? I think that's... Didn't he start? I thought he did. He helped write both of them, and yes, he did. He helped write both of them, and since he's not Richard Donner, I guess, who is dead, and I think he's a good choice because of his for Goonies 2, because nose blowing is unmuted on the Patreon. Nice. I think he's a good choice for Goonies. I don't know. I do not want a Goonies 2. Please don't make a Goonies 2. I think that's a fucking terrible idea. Gremlins 3, which he also helped write Gremlins 3, I think would be interesting because I know Christopher Columbus has long wanted to do kind of a darker horror thing. He was attached to a Daredevil movie for a long time. in the 90s. He helped produce Nosferatu recently. It seems like he wants to do something different, but I think like he always gets approved for like Harry Potter or Home Alone and stuff. So it feels like he wants to branch out, and I'm not necessarily against that. And he did write the original Gremlins, and he was a big screenwriter, so it sort of makes sense to me. Zane Powers, they're getting Josh Brolin back, right? I don't know if that would be an issue. I've not heard he dislikes the Goonies, so I think you could get Josh Brolin back. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want the thing is I don't want the old people back. I mean, they could be back a little, but it's about the kids, you know. Anyway, cheers to you, Zane Powers. But apparently, it's because Warner Brothers wants to use their franchises that are already doing well for them. Gremlins, I know, does very well. That franchise for Warner Brothers in terms of people rewatch it a lot. But the thing with Gremlins is like, yes, Christopher Columbus wrote it, but like to me, those are like very Joe Dante movies. And like without Joe Dante, like if it was like Gremlins directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, I'd be like, yeah, totally. But like Christopher Columbus, like I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he did write it and he was involved creatively. It just feels weird without Joe Dante. I do think he could do a Goonies movie successfully. I mean, if you look at like what he's done, I am curious about both of these. It is interesting that he's attached to two really big sequels in a row like that. But like I think a lot of these guys like they have trouble like getting original things made nowadays. They're not sure where to go business wise. And I think he did the second Christmas Chronicles, which is still a huge movie. I mean, it's huge in my house at least. So we'll see. But yeah, it sounds like Warner Brothers is at least moving forward in that. So you can believe those terrible Goonies AI posters on Facebook because something is happening there, I guess. For once, something is happening. But we already got Goonies 2. It was an NESK. Correct, Nathaniel Foga. Thank you. Thank you for reminding us all of that one. Cheers to you, sir. All right. Moving on. It's like almost sort of halfway into the show. I don't know. Let's just keep going. Shrek 5 was moved because of the Minions. Now, some people have said this is because of the Minions. Other people have said this is because of how December is probably a better release date. I don't really know what's going on. I think it makes more sense because I mean, Minions is just moving a whole year up. Minions 3. Whereas Shrek was supposed to come out on July 1st, 2026, and they moved it to Wednesday, December 23rd. And I get that is actually a good release date. And they are pushing it back a bit. I also think, like, Chris Meledandri, who I was corrected on Blue Sky, but in all fairness, I guess someone else runs DreamWorks, but it does feel like corporately with Universal that they're not going to have them released too close to one another. And they did switch them, and that's how it's being portrayed in the press. But I do sort of also think is Universal really wants to nail Shrek, because you sort of like, if you fuck up Shrek 5, you might not get a Shrek 6. So I sort of get why they'd want it on Christmas. It's sort of a better release date, even though Shrek was like traditionally they were all summer movies, I believe. I think it is just a smarter move in terms of release date. I don't think it is. I don't know. We'll see what the deal is when it all comes out. But Universal has an interesting slate coming out, which I will get to. Cornbread posted a thing, and I will talk about it actually. William Owen, wow, very nice super chat, says, how would you rank these pro athlete performances in a movie? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Airplane, Kevin Garnett, Uncut Gems, Carl Weathers, Rocky, Alex Karras, Blazing Saddles, Rosie Greer, That Thing with Two Heads. I didn't know the last two were professional athletes, but I probably... What about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in... was it Enter the Dragon? I'll put that for you. I'm going to put him... Although I like Kevin Garnett, no, I'd probably go No, wait. Carl Weathers and Rocky, then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, then Kevin Garnett. The other two I'll just put down there because I didn't. I'm too surprised that they were that way. Anyway, that's very generous of you, William Wellman. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. Cheers to you, sir. But the that energy drink. Carl Weathers on Arrested Development. Good call. I mean, the other thing is like they know what Minions will do, and Minions doesn't need the help. You know what I mean? And Shrek, it's like, well, the last Shrek didn't actually do that well, and I know they want this comeback, but it also shows like I think I don't fully know the 2026 December release thing, but like much like how Sonic worked out because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go take my kids to Sonic because I like Sonic growing up, and I can see that working out with Shrek. So I think it kind of worked. Cornbread posted that like Universal has a ton of stuff, including like next December they have Five Nights at Freddy's. Next January they have a kind of spin-off of Megan. They have their Exorcist movie in 2026. They have Super Mario Brothers 2 in 2026. They have a Spielberg movie, a Daniels movie, the Daniels follow-up, Shrek 5, a Christopher Nolan movie, and then a Jordan Peele movie. Jesus, it's going to be crazy over there. But it's I need to... I'm just going to like it for later. But it's like an interesting thing about like... I do think Universal of all the studios... Oh, I did like it. I'm just going to retweet it. You can, or repost. Which one is this? Jesus, I don't even know where I am. I do think Universal is becoming a bigger studio. I mean, they did Nosferatu, for example, or Focus Features, but that's them. But I have noticed they're becoming more of an auteur studio. I mean, they have Christopher Nolan, Jordan Peele, Robert Eggers, the Daniels, and Spielberg, who has an office on that lot, but that's always been true. But that's like a pretty murderous row of auteurs right there, who bring box office. So that's really interesting. What we're going to see with Universal, I think is going to be really interesting the next couple of years. I think we're going to talk about them more with being a bigger studio. I mean, Warner's and Disney seem to get most of the press and stories and talk, but like Universal has been pretty solid for a while. And like for a little bit, it felt like the main thing they had was Fast and Furious and Illumination. And now it feels like they have a lot more. So, we'll see how many of these things get moved. I mean, the Christopher Nolan thing, that we actually don't know if someone brought up, we don't know if the Odyssey is a modern remake of the Odyssey or a classical version of the Odyssey, but we do know it's going to be his biggest movie ever. So, the Daniels did do Swiss Army Man. You're right. PZK. Sorry. All right. So moving on. Sorry if I'm flimmy. Actually, I have two Me TV Tunes stories. One is the one you probably heard about, which is that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the classic 80s show, is coming to Me TV Tunes this year. It was announced by Andre, I guess he's the black comedy nerd or something. Anyway, he's a nice guy. I thought it was a great way to announce it. And I think it'd be cool for the network. They already have the Real Ghostbusters. It'd be cool to have Real Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles right back to back. They have a lot of good stuff on there. I hope they put it on at a good time slot at some point. Maybe I will do a review of Me TV Tunes around the time that premieres because I've been meaning to do that. But we don't know when it's coming. They've announced that it is happening. I think it'll be really good for that network. That's a really good show, to be honest with you. I think it deserves a lot more credit than it gets, which isn't much. Andre 3000. Yes, sorry, Andre 3000 announced it. The other one, and I think this is actually interesting. So there's been a lot of talk, and since I'm on, the only reason I'm on Facebook is so I have my Mystery Science Theater group, my Regal group, and my Me TV Tunes groups, and all my like old New York and Maryland groups. Everything else is like whatever. But I've known people talk about like when is there going to be a fast channel. Now, what's a fast channel? In case you're wondering what I'm talking about, fast is free advertiser supported television. How is that different from regular television? I don't. It's like different. Shut up. No, but it. Um. Basically the things that air on Pluto. I see you, Cinerama. I will be right there. Sorry. It's basically and people have been wondering like when are they going to have a channel on Pluto or things like that. I actually heard this guy who does like cord cutting videos gave an update actually, and from my understanding and who reposted it and liked it and stuff, knowing that like Jerry Beck and stuff work on there and various people worked on it, like the post. I'm going to take this as semi-accurate, but this guy brought up that apparently it is still in the works and would actually have a different lineup. So if you ever watch Fast, like I like the Unsolved Mysteries Fast channels on various things, and I remember I would compare them, and they do play different things. So if you watch the one on Peacock or Tubi or Pluto, and you flip between the Mystery Science Theater channels, oftentimes you'll find a different movie. So that's sort of what they would like to do with it. They're not sure. The main thing is we're not sure like what shows they are going to play and what shows they aren't. The one thing I think we'll see, and a lot of people have suggested, is if they have a smaller cartoon, they can play it on the Fast channel and then keep the bigger shows on the main channel. Has been highly suggested. So I actually think it's going to be really cool for MeTV Tunes because they'll help that continue and get us more classic animated shows that don't have homes anywhere else. Like I think we've watched more Hysteria on Saturday or Sunday mornings because of them, and I think like more people would like to, because I know they've done other kind of classic they're like Saturday morning or afternoon lunch kind of channels or whatever, but I think like it's MeTV Tunes is a little more curated in a better way. Trivia night at Hooters. Is that real or are you joking? I'm not sure. Okay, William Elman. Sorry. Sidram. Sorry. That was really rude of me. Apologies, Sidram. Said, Jim, were you aware that Ralph Fiennes was in an adaptation of the Odyssey called The Return, which came out just a few weeks ago? I did hear a lot of people were talking about how that's kind of crazy that there was already an adaptation of the Odyssey in theaters. I mean, there's always kind of adaptations of the Odyssey, but that is, I was aware of that actually. I find that to be interesting. I haven't even watched the trailer. Does anyone know if it's good or seen the trailer or interested in seeing it? Be curious about that. But thank you for bringing that up, Syndrome. Cheers to you. Sorry, this is the end of a long day. So if I'm talking and it makes sense, that's a success. Wait, what? It's not, the point of MeTV Tunes was not to really to provide stuff for low. I've never heard that about MeTV Tunes, Taco Master. I think it's just to provide that for everyone and use the nostalgia market. I think most of these things, like people keep telling me MeTV Tunes is a big success. I'm not sure if that is or not. I think it was just meant, MeTV was meant for kind of the nostalgia market, but I think MeTV Tunes is sort of is similar to that, but I think what they didn't expect is so many people are sharing. But I've not heard that before, so I don't know what you're talking about. No offense. But whatever. I'm not trying to be a dick or something, sorry. In other news, I heard Neil Gaiman sucks as a person. This is one of the weirdest cancellations I've ever heard of anyone, because it feels like there's always like, I feel like I've been hearing about it since the pandemic, how he does like awful things and stuff, but we obviously got like the biggest info dump of it this week. Yeah, usually someone gets canceled, but he kept sticking around and it was like one of the stranger ones I've seen. I'm not sure how that all worked out, but basically he sucks as a person. I guess he's a good writer and stuff, but I just don't whatever. If you're doing like shitty bullshit like that, like fuck you. I'm just like, I have no time for that. Like, you can be talented, but you can also not be a raging asshole to women and just whatever with that guy. All right, so Marvel. We actually have a bunch of Marvel news that I wanted to talk about, and not just the Black Panther thing. Although I'll talk about that first. I think you've probably heard someone and one of your friends or something talk about recasting Black Panther, and it felt like after Chadwick Boseman died, we could that would never happen, basically. But apparently it seems, and according to a lot of people, that there have been rumors that they want to recast T'Challa, but it's sort of not what we think it is. Now, I've heard from a couple of places that it is actually sort of an aged up version of the T'Challa, who is his son in Black Panther or Wakanda Forever, not actually being like, oh, I'm the same guy again. It's like they are it's technically they're recasting T'Challa, but it's a different T'Challa, which makes it confusing. That's why I kept saying, are they recasting Black Panther? Because that is more accurate. Also because Disney did not really like working with the actress who played Shuri. What is it? Leo Waithe? Hold on. Shuri, Black Panther, fictional character. Thank you for that. I like when you say Letitia Wright, because she was like a whole fucking mess. In terms of like she didn't want to get a COVID vaccine. They're like, well, we can't like let you back in the country to film this fucking movie. Like it's just, and the studio wasn't having it. And it seems like the audience, like you don't really hear. People seem to like Wakanda Forever. People do not seem to like take much from her, and that wasn't really working. So what this is originally, and I think it was either Jeff Snyder or someone announced it, and other people followed suit, and other people said what they had heard is there's a rumor that they're trying to recast the kid who is who's supposed to be the kid of Lupita Nyong'o's character and Chadwick Boseman's character, who's in Wakanda Forever. Obviously, they're a little kid, but they were saying they'll do some nonsense in Secret Wars, and they'll bring that kid will be aged up somehow. Is the rumor? Supposedly, there was an actor who is an up and coming black actor who said no because he didn't want okay, this is the reason I knew they were never going to recast T'Challa, is because no one wanted to follow Chadwick Boseman's footsteps. Like no one wants to do. It's a bad idea career wise, and apparently the actor who they approached basically said that, who I believe was Aaron Pierre. Honestly, from the description they did, I have no proof. No one said Aaron Pierre, but like an up-and-coming black actor who's getting a lot of roles and doesn't want to ruin their career momentum. Sounds like Aaron Pierre to me, but maybe it's somebody else. I do think this makes a lot of sense. It seems like more people are open to this idea. I kind of am. It really depends on who they get. I assumed at some point they would recast it. I thought people would be more into Shuri, but I also think she's just like, that actress is a little crazy, and I think nobody really wanted her to. They kind of like had to come up with something, but I think in the long run, everyone was like, let's just not, like, she can be Shuri, but like let's just not do this long term. And I'm sure apparently the studio was like not thrilled, particularly her behavior on set, which involved putting the production in jeopardy because she wouldn't get the COVID vaccine. Although I loved, so many movie press people claimed they were going to ask her which vaccine she got, and nobody did it. And I was like disappointed. I wanted someone to be like, so was it Moderna? Was it? And like I don't know. I thought that was funny. We'll see who it's going to be. I don't know. Maybe it will be Aaron Pierre, although he's in Green Lantern. So I'm assuming you kind of can't pick one. But we'll see. I'm curious what's going to happen. I'm curious if like Ryan Coogler is cool with this. Like I'm assuming he would be, if he's doing Black Panther 3, which I'm also assuming he would be. I'm curious what is going on with this, but it's crazy that they're actually doing it. But I think it's been enough time. But the fact that they went to a major person and they're like, I'm not doing this, is what I thought would happen. Like, because you don't want to follow, like, they're probably not going to get, because people are saying, oh, it's John David Washington. Oh, Denzel's going to be it, because he said that Coogler's writing him apart in Black Panther 3. I think every major person does not want to do it. I think they'll get someone who's smaller in terms of, like, status and stuff, and then they'll, that's what'll happen. That's my prediction, because, like, if you're up and coming, you want to make a name for yourself, you're, more of a name for yourself than you already have. That's not really the role. You know what I mean? So this is like exactly why I was like, this is why they're not recasting, because nobody's gonna want to fucking do it. So, other Marvel news. This is actually some cool stuff. George Miller supposedly has been approached to direct World War Hulk. I'm a little confused about the Hulk Universal rights with Disney and all that stuff, and I don't know if it lapsed or something. But there's a couple Hulk projects in development, but this seems to be an interesting one. I think George Miller would be a great choice to do a World War Hulk kind of story. I think you'd have a lot of fun with it. Obviously, wanted to do Justice League back in the day, but fell apart because of the writer's strike. I think he could do a bonkers Hulk comic book movie. I think that would be amazing. Supposedly, Marvel is much more interested in the Hulk being crazy Hulk and less intelligent Hulk. They want to get away from that, supposedly. But we'll see. I did hear about the West End. I did hear about Coogler's original plan for Black Panther 2. I mean, it felt like, if you see that movie, you see Wakanda Forever, it felt like all the Namor stuff or Namor stuff was super well developed, and like everything that isn't that was like they took something out. And like when they talk about how it was like basically him trying to make a relationship with his son after he was like taken away because of the snap and stuff, I thought that sounded interesting. I think there's a video of it, like the channel that does everything about like movies that didn't happen and stuff. I thought that could have been cool. I sort of wish it happened. It's probably the one who dealt with the snap the most of any of them, which I thought was kind of interesting. But I guess we'll never know. I think they should make a comic of it at some point. Anyway, Zane Powers says, "What about me? I'd be willing to replace." I'm sure Zane Powers. You should audition. You should call your agent and see if you can. Cheers to you, Zane Powers. This is actually kind of the bigger one. I wanted to talk about this because I think this is interesting. So, I want to say this correctly. This was not brought up by Jeff Snyder or Justin Kroll or any of the bigger chip people. It's actually brought up by John Roca, who brought it up on the podcast he has with Jeff Snyder. Jeff Snyder confirmed it. Other people like Justin Kroll and so forth on Blue Sky or whatever, I forget where, confirmed it as well, is what they heard. So, supposedly, for Spider-Man 4, for a little bit, there was a plan to have Spider-Man and the Punisher team up to fight the Hulk in New York City, and that was going to be Spider-Man 4. Now, there's some debate on possibly this fell apart because the deal with Sony for Spider-Man is that a big A-level Marvel character is in each of these Sony Spider-Man movies. And supposedly, because Hulk is sort of universal, that's sort of like a weird gray area. So would Punisher count for being one of those characters? Thus why they had Iron Man in Homecoming, Nick Fury in Far From Home, and Doctor Strange in No Way Home. And so people are not sure if that's one of the reasons it fell apart, but no one's really sure, like, what's the deal with Hulk and the Universal, right? That's like a whole confusing thing. But that actually sounds like a cool, like, movie. It sounds like a cool, like, comic story of, like, the Punisher, the one from the Daredevil show, coming over with Spider-Man, because they would do stuff together and fighting the Hulk. I actually think that could have been cool. I'm a little disappointed that I was like, I'm kind of into that. Especially, like, the Spider-Man who he can't talk to Zendaya or Mary Jane because they don't remember him dealing with the Punisher and the Hulk. Sounds like an interesting movie to me. I think that sounded cool. Apparently it's not happening, but almost every person who is in the know kind of confirmed that is real. So I was actually a little surprised because I listened to that and I was like, I thought when he said it, they're going like, nah, you're stupid. And everyone's like, no, it's okay. It hasn't been okay. So that's why. Thank you, Cornbread. It hasn't been with Universal since June of 2023. That's why they're developing something. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I think the Spider-Man thing, that would have been interesting. But I think it was like someone who's already headlined a thing or something. I don't know. The deal is weird. So people are a little confused about that, but it didn't happen. So I don't know. That would have been a cool movie. I think that would have been a good follow-up to No Way Home, to be honest with you. But anyway, the other thing was the Daredevil trailer, the Kingpin's The Mayor. I didn't really watch that much of the Daredevil show, unfortunately. But it seemed cool. I wish I had watched the Daredevil show. I only have so many hours in a day. I can't watch everything, but I kind of regret the Daredevil not watching it. But I liked the trailer. Thought it was cool. But it was like one of those things was like the Kingpin, a mayor. That's crazy. He's a criminal. How did they win the thing? Yeah. All right. Where are we going from here? Skeleton Crew. The Skeleton Crew ratings. I wanted to talk about this because one thing I don't, and I've heard people talk about the problem with box office reporting, ratings reporting, is no one talks about what it is versus budget, what the studio's expectations were, what the actual show is doing, what they wanted it to do, everything like that. And I agree with that. And I agree with it with Skeleton Crew. Because Skeleton Crew, I noticed, grew as it went on. I saw more and more families watching it. We all watched it together as a family, the whole show. It was a great show. Supposedly, it had 20% fewer viewers than the Acolyte premiere week. And talking about how its budget was really high. I still am like, yes, but if you got, like, more kids into Star Wars, that is a net positive. So I'm more curious about, like, what were the things overall. But I feel like there's a video I saw of someone talking about how the problem with these streaming shows is everyone has to have a reaction right away and for 2 episodes, and people like, oh, that's the narrative. But everyone when that first show came out was like, oh, it's Star Wars Goonies. It's Star Wars Goonies. I was like, when you're watching, I'm like, well, it's definitely Star Wars Treasure Island, which is also like, I think a very Star Wars thing is like taking a previous media thing and then bringing it into Star Wars. That's what worked about it, not Goonies. But I noticed like all the nostalgia people were really weird. Like I heard people saying like when they use flashlights, those flashlights were 80s flashlights and that clicking. And I was just like, oh my God, you guys are like obnoxious. But I do think I know so many people who don't watch Star Wars stuff, but watch Skeleton Crew. My son's now into Star Wars because of Skeleton Crew. So to me, I think if I'm Disney, I'm more looking at less the fans, and we always have to talk about the fans and the fandom and all that bullshit, and going like, wait, who did I now get into Star Wars through that? And is that worth $115 million? Whereas I think the Acolyte, I don't honestly think that got anyone into Star Wars. I think that just was a show for people who are going to watch Star Wars no matter what. Whereas this was a show to get people into it, which I think, if in my mind, what do they call a brand deposit? That is a brand deposit. That they should frame it that way, I think. But the industry is the entertainment industry is sort of fucked in terms of actually talking about these numbers in an accurate way based on what they're trying to achieve. And that's sort of my issue with hearing that story. So anyway, moving on. Danny Boyle is going to direct. I like the finale. I mean, it's Treasure Island, basically. Danny Boyle apparently is going to be directing, it's been confirmed, going to direct the third 28 Years Later. And Cillian Murphy will come back in that one. There's always been the story he will show up at the end of 2. Supposedly he is not in the first one. Everyone who's worked on it has confirmed that, so we know that to be true. I actually kind of wanted to go... If I was running the franchise, it's 28 Days Later. And then I think, is it 28 Weeks Later? Was that the other one? And then it should be 28 Months Later. And then 28 Years Later. And then what about 28 Decades Later? I would like it like... Let's just keep going. Let's just go with the time measurement shit. But anyway, I've heard not great things about the second one, which of course, because the industry hates the director. She also directed Marvels. They love to pick on her. Which is like I love it. Like, I can't wait for that third one. Oh, but that next one's going to stink. I'm like, what the fuck? Come on, guys. Moving on. So this is actually, I don't know if people know about this. There's this movie called The Clock. It is a real movie, and what it is what the creators of this movie did. When you watch it, The Clock is like a one-of-a-kind 24-hour video essay, and a team of researchers compiled thousands of film clips involving clocks, watches, and references to specific times of day, then edit them together in a chronological loop that also functions as a working clock. Whatever time it is when you watch the clock, that is the time it is on screen. Apparently there is literally a 24-hour version, and it sells out and stuff. I heard it was at the MoMA recently. I did not get to go. It's currently on display at the MoMA, but it's only on during the museum's operating hours. But they did hold a 24-hour screening back in December. I've never, I don't know. I'm curious. I don't know if I'll get to this because I'm curious about it. It is a real thing. It sounds insanely interesting. It's like they compiled all these clips and all these things to make an actual working clock out of film clips, and it plays. You can see a 24-hour cut, but if you go to the MoMA at, like, let's say 2 o'clock, it'll say 2 o'clock on screen. It'll say 2:15, 2:30. I'm very curious about this. Like, how I can't believe film history has made enough movies and stuff to have all of time in there is kind of crazy. I don't know. I found it really interesting that exists. I kind of want to go to see it, but like, what would I review? Anyway, yeah, it's if you're in New York, you can go see it. I'd never heard about this before. I found it really interesting. Sorry, this is like a thing I wanted to tell you guys about. All right, what do we have? Like, because it is getting late, and I know I'm always like, this is going to be the longest, whatever. I don't know. I would talk about Avatar, but like, at what point is he just like? Come on, James Cameron. You saw The Last Airbender, right? I mean, like, let's just, like, admit it. Like, with all this, like, fire and wind stuff, at what point are we going to buy that this is not a little based on it? I mean, it's like, I'm not going to do the Lindsay Ellis, like, Raya thing. But it's like, when he keeps being like, and they're all different elements, but it's not that Avatar. And you're like, okay, it just feels like it's a little too close for me. I don't know, man. I don't know. The PGA nominations came out. This is supposedly a good, where am I? 752 homies? I love that. This is supposedly a very good indicator of Best Picture. It usually honestly is. Here are the ones for Best Picture, at least. For Best Picture, we have Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, June Part 2, Amelia Perez, A Real Pain, September 5th, The Substance, and Wicked. I'm surprised by The Substance. And September 5, which seemed to be a big Oscar movie, but then wasn't. Also Amelia Perez, which I was like, I don't know, I'd watch that. And then I heard how it's sort of weird and transphobic, and I went, oh, what? I don't know. But anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, the animated ones are Flow, Inside Out, Moana 2, which that's surprising. Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild Robot. So that's kind of interesting what's going on with the PGA. We'll see if that is reflected in the Oscars soon. Where else are we? Oh, there was the announcement of the Switch 2. The magnets for the controllers look cool. I have nothing else to say. And then, wait, what's the new Crash? September 5 is? What are you talking about, Austin? The Substance? I need to watch The Substance. That's like been a problem for me for. What are we talking about exactly? I'm confused, Austin. Okay. The Hollywood ambassador thing that Trump announced today. Amelia Perez. Okay, thank you, Austin. Sorry. So it was announced today that Mel Gibson, Jon Voight, and Sylvester Stallone have been named Hollywood ambassadors. They are meant to bring more production back to America, not going overseas. I do actually have some thoughts on this. One is they didn't actually outline a plan to do that. They just sort of went, "We're gonna do that," and I'm like, "Good for you, bitch." What the fuck? I don't understand what your plan is. One of the reasons they are mainly shooting in England and not America is because they used to all shoot in Georgia, but Georgia's politics got super creepy, and they left. So maybe it seems like a problem y'all could fix by not being total jerks when you make laws and stuff. But at the same time, I don't know. I just find it like if you're really going to make production move, you need to give them tax breaks. And it's like, I don't know why Mel Gibson, like Stallone is still working. I noticed people said like, oh, John Voight hasn't worked in all this time. Mel Gibson hasn't. Stallone's barely at it. I mean, Stallone's in a big show. The trailer for The Wrong Man was written by him. Stallone's still very big, but to me, it's like unless they're doing tax incentives, it's sort of a bullshit thing in my mind. It's like that's what we're talking about, and like making it safer for productions to exist within that. So, Sinram. I'll talk about box office and then we'll take a break. Sinram says, "I've seen Emilio Perez. Not sure if it's transphobic. I don't know why. I haven't seen it and I haven't really looked into it. To be clear on that, not sure if it's transphobic, but the 1991 comedy Soap Dish definitely is." Okay. Wow, throwing shade at Soap Dish there. Cheers to you, Sinram. Zane Powers says, "How do you think Zachary Levi feels for being left out?" I'm surprised I didn't ask him. Cheers to you, Zane Powers. Okay. Where are we on this? Box office. Let's talk about box office. So the first thing, and I did talk about this in the post, although I didn't post it didn't make the thumbnail, I guess, is Sonic 3 is now the highest grossing Sonic film domestically. It might have, it's at $204 million, which I believe, I can't look back at the other Sonics right now, but I believe are very much changed. Yeah, it was very much the highest grossing one. We're seeing a lot of good box office things, in all honesty, going on as things are dropping 30 to 40%, which is actually really good depending on how long they've been out in theaters, which, if you think of things like Mufasa, Sonic 3, Moana 2, Wicked, Nosferatu, we're talking about 4 weeks, 3 weeks, stuff like that, and they're still performing insanely well. But it's kind of crazy that Sonic 3 did so well and this franchise has become so successful. Den of Thieves 2, I've never seen Den of Thieves 1, but people still talk about that movie. Pantera opened at number 1. That was a surprise for most people. Nosferatu has actually become, this is like a crazy stat, but I want to explain this to you. I will talk about him right after this, don't worry. Nosferatu is the highest grossing horror movie featuring a vampire. Why that distinction is because of Hotel Transylvania and Twilight. So it is not the highest grossing movie with a vampire, but it is the highest grossing horror movie with a vampire, which is pretty cool. So good for that, and it's holding. It's still at number 4. When I saw it, it was I did see it. I shot a review. I think the review of the 70s one's going to come first, and then I'll do the review of the new one. But it was pretty packed, actually, so I was kind of surprised by how well it's drawing. I know people have seen it who I don't normally see horror movies, so I'm confused. The kind of bigger box office, I mean, Wicked's still holding, but I don't really understand that because of the big PVOD thing, but it's still holding very well. And then the big two things are biopic questions. People keep talking about how The Complete Unknown is doing very well. It's made about $50 million. The problem is that movie costs $70 million. Why? I have no fucking clue why that would cost $70 million. It actually hasn't really gotten into the top 5 despite making $50 million. A lot of people are a little confused about like what the financial plan is for this based on the release strategy because it's never played in that many theaters. Are they expecting, because Bob Dylan's obviously, an older musical artist, or expecting older audiences to slowly come out, which is usually what they do. Do they think it'll do well enough on PVOD to make up that? Is it just an awards play? No one's actually really sure about that one, and it seems to be every box office analyst is like, well, what's your real plan? Because you clearly haven't made your budget back. But apparently they were aware. It wasn't like it went over budget. That was what was declared. So, like, what are they doing? Seems to be a big question there. And then also Baby Girl's holding very well. I think Baby Girl had the smallest decline of the entire top 10. The Last Showgirl, Pamela Anderson, broke into the top 10. Like, this is actually, I will say, looking at least the top 10, this is a far healthier box office than anyone could have predicted. I think it's pretty crazy. The other one is Better Man, which did not do very well in America. It only made $1 million. It cost $110 million. I thought it's worth bringing up that the box office. I thought, well, it's more of an overseas play. It's not a play in America. I did not expect that movie to do well in America. We barely know who Robbie Williams is, but it opened in England and didn't do well either. So I think it's safe to say Better Man did bomb. I think that stinks because I think it was a good movie, and my wife and I enjoyed watching it and stuff like that. But a lot of people are saying it should have gone to streaming, possibly. But what maybe when my wife's saying it on her birthday, so I think it was worth the $100 million for that. I think, hello Xander, how's it going? It's interesting, what's going on there. But I think it's a good movie. I'll have a review out soon. But I was disappointed to see how much it bombed, unfortunately. Especially because I feel like when we get interesting biopics, they don't do well. And so the genre doesn't correct itself to make more interesting ones. And then we get bland ones again. I'm like not really excited to see Complete Unknown. I think we're going to get... I don't know. I want more weirder. Like that and Rocket Man were cool, but like I feel like once Walk Hard happened, we should have gotten a correction there. But I did like the Madman meme where it's like no one in America knows who Robin Williams is, and John Draper's like, that's what the monkey's for. I thought that was funny. All right. I don't think there are any more box office things. Okay, so two things for obits. Janat Swazark, who directed Jaws 2 and Supergirl. I've never seen Supergirl. At some point in my life, I hope to. I've thought about it many times for a very long time. But I guess there is a Supergirl movie, so I'll probably do it around then. And Jaws 2, which everyone says is underrated. I don't think that. I think Jaws 2 sucks. But he still made two major movies in the late 70s and 80s, and I think we should respect him and give him the credit for that. I mean, here's the problem with Jaws 2. I will honor this man by trashing his movie. My problem with Jaws 2 is this. Jaws, one of the greatest movies of all time. Absolutely 100% classic. The Jaws franchise works in this way. It works in extremes. You either have the greatest film ever, or you have Jaws 3 and 4, which are two of the fucking worst things ever. Jaws 2 is like decent. What the fuck is that? That's not extreme. That's just like passable. I don't want decent. You have to be amazing or the worst crap in the world. You get in between. It's like when you're watching all the Jaws movies, that's one you're like, okay, I'll watch this to get to the next one where it's, the shark in SeaWorld and stuff. But like I don't remember anything from Jaws 2. And I know it's better in quality than Jaws 3 and 4. But like, don't they electrocute the shark or something? It's just like, whatever, man. I don't know. But yeah, he's a good director. I'm sorry. I've long wanted to do. I've long wanted to do like a commentary with a ton of YouTube friends over Jaws 4 on my birthday. I've never done it, but I've talked about it a lot of times. That is like one of my unfulfilled. I've never actually worked on getting it to happen, but I was like, I bet if it's my birthday, I could get, I could guilt enough people, like get Paleo and Saber and Pizza Party and all that stuff. That'd be cool. I know I've heard Somewhere in Time is much better. Sorry to shit on Jaws 2. And also the actor Robert Pratt passed away as well. All right, so no, Michael Caine got a paycheck for Jaws 4. Get it right. Sorry, not to be a jerk. Can I be on the commentary? I don't know if this will ever happen, Austin. So I'll say you can be on my imaginary list if you would like to. Um, uh, here's the thing: when I have time off, I'm like organize something. I don't want to. No, I don't want to do that. That's why it doesn't happen. If it's like a day where I don't have to do things, my internal laziness will kill this Jaws 4 commentary for everything happened. They're trapped in a lighthouse in Jaws 2. Dude, I have seen that movie twice. I don't even remember that. So that. Anyway. All right. So I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to do the final Wallace and Gromit short, Wallace and Gromit: A Matter of Loaf and Death. Then I'm going to talk about David Lynch's Absurdia, and his NYC litter ad. Is sort of two segments, but they'll probably maybe three videos. We'll see how this all goes. But we're going to do A Matter of Loaf and Death first. If you want to watch the David Lynch films, you can at least watch the NYC litter one. I am 100% sure about that during the break. So if you haven't watched, just type in David Lynch rats and you'll find it. And then we will, yes. So I am going to, okay, sorry. He was a good filmmaker. I just never saw anything I liked. I'm sorry, Caleb Wilson. I didn't do that correctly. Apologies. He did, you know what? Here's the thing. He had to follow up Jaws. That sucks for him. And he made he made the greatest follow up to Jaws that's ever been made. And that's not an easy thing to do. So apologies. Anyway, I like Austin that our cornbread. That's funny. I'll choose to believe I was too busy to be in the imaginary commentary list. I would have. There was just a scheduling issue on my imaginary end. That was funny. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. Then we'll do the segments. Then we'll do questions, and that'll be that. I will be right back. Hold on. Where's my thing here? I'll be right back after. Wait, where's the thing? Is this it? Where are we going? Okay, there we go. All right. I will be right back after this. I'll be right back. Hello. Sorry if that was a long... Was that a long wait? I don't know how long I was gone. Was it? Oh, it was like... Okay. Sorry if that was a little bit there. What? I'm very confused. Oh, I think it's on the podcast. Whatever. All right. Let me switch back. I actually bumped my arm somehow on the way to the bathroom, which felt weird. Oh wait, not on the program, on the preview. Okay, there we are. Hello. All right, let's just get into it because sorry, I didn't mean to take so long. Anyway, are people still here? I hope so. I was thinking that. I was like, oh, there's still a good amount of people. All right, sorry if I don't mean to e-beg and anything like that, but why am I all janky? Hello? Okay, that was weird. Seems to be, maybe my computer needs an update. Anyway, oh, sorry. I was going to say, if you would like to do a super chat, we're towards the end of the show. So if you wanted to, or have always wanted to, or anything like that, now is the time. Okay, so let's talk about Got to Go to Bed. Okay, good night, Austin. Thank you for being here. Sorry if I get it. I have to be up for... I always have to be up early. It doesn't matter. But anyway, but you should get to bed. You shouldn't be like me. All right, so now I'm going to talk about the Wallace and Gromit short, Wallace and Gromit, A Matter of Loaf and Death. There's a good chance of all the Wallace and Gromit shorts, this is the one you have either not seen, not heard of, or only seen once or something like that. It seems to be the one most people I talk to have not heard of this one, actually, which is kind of crazy. And I had not really, I hadn't heard of it. This is the first time I watched it. So this one is sort of like every Wallace and Gromit short. They have a new job. This time they are bakers. And Wallace falls in love with this woman who Gromit doesn't like. She starts changing stuff. She's really into him as a baker. And he believes she's going around killing bakers. But he also, this time, Gromit actually gets a girl. Good for Gromit. And he starts going out with this girl, this dog. Sorry. Let me look this up. Of Loaf. A girl dog named, was it Fluffers? Fluffies and Gromit, and they do, Gromit very much likes her, but this woman who owns Fluffies, who would be Pula Bakewell, sorry. She's just changing stuff. Her and Wallace get engaged, all this crazy stuff, and Gromit and Fluffies know that this is bad, and they try to fix it. This came after The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Obviously, this is the short after that. Streaming note, this will be cut out when it's a short. Obviously, I've already actually watched and shot my review of Curse of the Were-Rabbit. I'm just going to act like that this takes place after. I'm not going to give any spoilers of that review for that or anything. I'm just going to refer to stuff that'll be in that video, so apologies. But anyway, this is done after the terrible time Nick Park and Aardman had with DreamWorks. It is after the disillusionment of the DreamWorks deal. And Nick Park didn't really take that well. He said he made this for a British audience, said he didn't feel like making a film for a kid in some suburb of America or being told they're not going to understand a joke, which is a problem he had with DreamWorks. DreamWorks left a lot of notes for Curse of the Were-Rabbit, and Aardman and Nick Park didn't really appreciate that at all. And so this was meant as sort of like, it's almost like, it seems like a lot of interviews in production as like sort of an answer to that. Which works, and it was actually a huge rating success. It was like one of the highest rated non-sports things on British TV that year. In fact, of many years, believe it or not. I think it's like 14 million, which for England is pretty insane. I think it was like a 58% share at some points, stuff like that. And even on the repeat showing, it was an insanely highly rated special on TV. It did get nominated for an Oscar for Best Animated Short. I'm a little confused how you can air on TV in another country and still be eligible for that, but I don't know the rules, so maybe that's fine. I think this, of the Wallace and Gromit things I've seen so far, I think this is the worst one. It has probably the worst of all the chase sequences. It's still good. I think it's fairly good. I like the aliens joke. I like the ghost joke in it. I will say Wallace. I did notice while watching it, Wallace plays a lot more British than he did in the previous ones. I like this one. It's just it's not as compelling. It does feel like, again, we're in the post a clean shave thing there, but I did feel like it's a lot weaker. It's maybe, I don't know. And I also think the thing with the girl in it, who's the villain, is she was previously like this like model for this bread company, or this, was it a I think it was a bread company, the Bakelite girl, Pula, I think, is the Bakelite girl basically. And Wallace recognizes her from that and all this stuff. But she's obviously, it's been a lot of years since then. She's bigger, and they bring that up a lot, and it becomes a huge plot point. I don't want to show this to my kids because I don't like the fact that that's her origin story is just like she ate a bunch of bread because, bread makes you fat and stuff like that. I told Hirsch to do this at a different time. Like, what the fuck, Alex? No, I'm joking. Like, good for him. He should do a charity stream. But I don't like showing my kids stuff that has like weird gender roles in it and like stuff like that. It's just like, I just like them to be kids and have fun, and we don't need to like instill that on them. And the idea that she became evil because she was fired for gaining too much weight, and then she's killing going after bakers and stuff. I did not like that plot point at all. Actually, I thought that kind of sucked. I thought it's kind of a shitty thing, especially for a kids thing for the whole family. I didn't appreciate that, to be honest with you. I didn't actually discuss it with my wife or anything. I was just like, I don't want to show this to like my daughter and stuff. Like, I don't love that whole idea being instilled into kids. I think that's like kind of underhandedly creepy. But everything else about it, I quite liked. Actually, I like that. I like certain parts. I like that Gromit got a girl dog in this and stuff. But it just, I think the thing with Wallace and Gromit is like, okay, maybe this is the worst one. I would still say it's a pretty fun short. It just got some like things that I wish they hadn't done. And I thought the thing is like the end, like chase sequence, starting with the wrong trousers, all of them have been absolutely phenomenal. Except this one. It's good, but it's not like crazy. There aren't like insane amount of puns and visual gags and stuff. It's sort of just like, they did one and it like was cool, but it wasn't as mind-blowing as the other ones. It didn't show off their technical prowess and stuff like that. It honestly feels like the wind's been knocked out of their sails a bit, and you can kind of tell they had a rough time with DreamWorks, and this is the result of it. It's cool that they did come back. I'm glad people seem to really like it, particularly in England, because this was a huge hit over there. It wasn't really here because I'm noticing most people don't know about it. And this was the last major Wallace and Gromit thing for Peter Sallis, which is sad because he's not in the Netflix movie. And they also got another famous, like, kind of British character actor, Sally Lindsay, to play Pula Bakewell, haha. And they got Mrs. Thurp reprising her role from Wallace and Gromit's The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, which was kind of neat. As Geraldine McEwen. This is it's fine. It's good to a point. I like certain elements of it. But I just, that villain thing is just I'm sorry, not really. I really didn't like that at all, to be honest. I don't love the reason for her murders and the Mars joke. What's the Mars joke? I don't know what that means. Weird note, Jim. You should have written that better. Anyway, if you like Wallace and Gromit, you should check it out. I don't necessarily how you feel about instilling kind of shitty body imagery on kids will depend on whether you want to watch this with any children. But if you're older and can deal with something like that, I think it is fine. I think it's funny that there's certain parts that, like, I think Gromit has to get rid of a bomb. That part was really cute and funny and stuff like that. But I enjoyed it to a point. I just didn't. It felt a little more like them going through the motions and overthinking stuff. And I always think like they sometimes you overthink something and it comes out stupid a bit. And I think this just came out like they still have their technical prowess to a point and stuff, but this just felt like maybe they should have waited a little longer, and they're just more relieved to not have the notes and do their own thing, that they went weird directions. So I'm hoping the other movie isn't like that. I think this is probably the worst thing I've seen from them, but I still have a decent amount of fun with that. With Wallace and Gromit, A Matter of Loaf and Death. All right. I'm going to talk about 2 David Lynch shorts. I don't know if this is going to be one video. I think it's going to be separate. But David Lynch obviously died today, and I wanted to talk about 2 of his shorts. I think probably one of the things with reviewing the shorts is I thought about doing the alphabet, but that would have just been me being like, isn't it? It's kind of neat when he has the letters there and stuff, and there's weird noises. Like, they're kind of like, even when I was thinking about, like, I'll just describe it, I'm like, that still doesn't sound great. But I thought this one actually, Absurdia, I thought was actually fairly interesting, to be honest with you. This screened at the Cannes Film Festival in 2007, but it's just one... Absurdia is one single shot. It is basically you see a big pair of scissors, you see sort of a movie screen, and you hear voices. You never see them. I assume it is 4 people. And at first they're kind of laughing. They're told to come there for some reason. And then you see a woman dancing. One woman in the audience knows that it's her. And then she sees that her boyfriend or whomever is in it with like blood on his face, and then he kind of like attacks her and stuff. But that's all off screen. What I thought was interesting about that is this is sort of like a statement on art. I think I am sort of looking for meaning in this, but I think there's like an overarching meaning in this. That is, I thought this tells an interesting tale about our version of art. Because at first, I think you look at something absurd and you laugh at it, you disregard it. You know what I mean? You look at this, you look at this and you look at something and you think it is absurd and silly and stupid. You're like, that's so dumb. These artists get away with these things. They put a banana on a wall. They're so dumb and stuff. Those things people say. But then they start to recognize yourself in it. You start to realize, you start to attach a theory to it. It starts to mean something to you. But I think often it's something that art also does is it or can do, not always, is show you something uncomfortable about yourself. And once Absurdia pushes that to the audience and shows you something uncomfortable and awful, you almost have to deal with that. You have to deal with the issue that's brought up. And I think what Absurdia shows you is sometimes the what a piece of art brings you to might not be the thing you love in itself, but in the end, it's kind of glorious that a piece of music, a piece of art, a painting, or whatever can bring you there. And I think Absurdia talks about like both. I think that is ridiculously absurd that happens to you mentally. But also, this whole idea is absurd, and the thing that they're showing you is absurd, but it's all right there. I honestly thought this was actually kind of a cool Twilight Zone thing. Like, what if you're watching something of yourself and you see your friend doing something awful to you, and they're right there? And like, what is that? I thought it was like actually a really cool thing. You can make a really interesting horror movie with that. You do a lot of interesting things with that. And I thought how he did it in this kind of like just single shot was like really powerful, and talked about like the underground evilness that can be brought up from you, but also the good, the beauty, the art, what you can achieve, how they can inspire you. It said so much about art that it's like, I feel like it said almost everything about your reaction to art, and in the end, how you're happy that it was there, and you're just looking and inspired by yourself being able to create something through a dance, as you can in David Lynch's Absurdia. I think that was a good review. All right. Finally, yeah, this is going long. This is something that I've known about for a very long time. And back in the tape trading days and early internet, it got pushed around a lot. And that is the NYC litter ad that David Lynch made. And I think it is very David Lynch, but is also so extreme. You would think that there was another, like, there would be a, I don't know, it's so extreme. I think my wife watched it and she was like, how would anyone want to litter after that? And it just shows people around New York City throwing trash and stuff like that, and throwing it in the air and just throwing it on the ground, and then just cuts to like rats in weird places, close-ups of their faces, of their tails, and how like almost like our trash created this, our arrogance created this, like created these rats. Like, the rat problem is our problem, and we are the problem that created them and keeps letting them expand because we keep giving them food and not taking care of ourselves and not taking care of society or anything like that. We're just, too busy to, get to a trash can. We're too into ourselves. We're too, worrying about this and that, and we're just going to throw it all into the wind, and it doesn't matter. And these rats will keep growing and breeding, and more of them are underneath our city, and there's more of them than us, and there's nothing we can do to stop it because we'll never stop creating trash. I've seen this so many times. It's honestly one of my favorite David Lynch things. I think it is one of the craziest environmental ads I've ever seen, and it says exactly what you want it to, and it does it all visually. I think it shows like what a strong filmmaker David Lynch is you make a simple kind of ad about litter and turn it into the real evils of man is the fact that we can't help but destroy ourselves with our own trash. Yeah, and I mean, what a better way to say don't litter. All right, so sorry, I keep having a thing here. Okay, so we should probably do the questions now. Let's do the questions. Sorry, this is very late. All right. Questions. I have Patreon questions first. Oh man, Cinnaron's question. I'll do Jordan Richard's first, but Cinnaron's question is I did check it out. Hold on, let me write questions below. I checked it out before, and it made me laugh. Okay. Let's. Where are we? No, not you. I mean, I need you, but okay. Jordan Richard asks, what's the closest depiction you've seen in film, cartoon, and television compared to the actual real-life New York City? I think Taking Pelham 1, 2, 3 is more like the perfect attitude of the city. I actually think Oliver and Company does a good job animation-wise. It's not the greatest movie, but I thought they should. I can't think. I'm just gonna say Taking Pelham 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Mandela Butterfly. I love seeing a nice little $1 super chat from Mandela. I always appreciate it. Cheers to Mandela Butterfly. Good night, Dan. Thank you for being here. Okay. Uh, Cinram says, no, David Lynch is gone. Gone. No, no, wait. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. I understand he was very sick. Not surprising since he began smoking before the age of 10. That is where I learned that. Thank you, Syndrome. On a related question, which of the upcoming summer movies will have the greatest quantity of product placement? Are you opposed to non-movie, non-theater advertisements before the feature? How many trailers is the ideal amount to play before the film starts? I like trailers, although I think they've been pushing it a lot lately. I don't like that when ads play between trailers. I notice they do that shit, and that's horrible. Product placement. I imagine Superman, because Man of Steel, remember the IHOP thing, wasn't it, or something? I imagine Superman will have the most. Usually it is. How many trailers before? I would say like 4 or 5, and they really shouldn't push it beyond. I think 20 is good, but everything that is different. Did I answer everything? Are you opposed to non? I think if you're gonna have advertisements, just don't have it during the trailers. It can be a separate time, so I can go on my phone and ignore them, and then when the trailers come up, we'll put away our phones. Nathaniel Fogg asks, which Sonic character would you like to see appear in the movies? I feel like everyone I know and would have has been, but I would like more Chili Dog appearances. Austin said, hey Jim, what a great show. What a great insert relevant film story you talked about. Talked insight into that. My question, which is last and guessing up next, is Cornsbread question about Skeleton Crew. I wonder if that's true. I didn't check. Austin, still need to watch that show. My question, remember the Donald Glover movie Bando Stone and the New World trailer that appeared during the summer? The album came out, but what happened to that movie? I can't remember if the trailer was discussed on the show. Here's the trailer as a refresher. Oh, I didn't even... Okay. I don't know what happened to that. Donald Glover is so secretive and stuff. It's sort of like... Who knows? Yeah, that was a little... Okay, yeah, I remember watching this trailer. I don't know what's going on with that. Is it going to come out soon, or... Yeah, what's the deal with that? Yeah, it looks like it's going to be... Yeah, it's the original... What is the deal with that? I know he, like, secretly got COVID, was the rumor, because apparently if you're an artist, because of the way Live Nation works, if you get COVID, you can't reveal it publicly. So, anyway. All right. Let's see. Where's my questions below thing? There's Mandela. Okay, there's me. Oh, actually, Cornbread isn't, and Bloxy's first. Can they remake that ad but with Paul Blart? Fuck yeah, they can. Bloxy, thank you for that. Cornbread question: since the return of the my Lynchian question running gag is over. My lycanthrope question running gag is over. What if I brought back my other iconic runner of asking our Gremlin 3 pitches? At least that's relevant at that time. You should do Gremlin 3. That should be a daily question. Foga, favorite type of cheese? I guess just like cheddar, American. I guess sharp cheddar would be it. What is the best sandwich? Not plausible. A good one? I probably like ham and Swiss, but I don't know. It depends on what I'm a big sandwich guy. It depends on the thing. Nathaniel Rocket Lowbacks, who should perform at the Trump inauguration? Guar, absolutely. But Ella Butterfly, romance movie you like to rewatch? Brief Encounter. Glad I gave you. Thank you, Sandra. It was funny when I saw it. I was like, what? Cornbread. So the Switch 2, huh? You excited to pick one up in 8 years? Yeah, I was a little like, oh, fuck you, Nintendo. I just got a new system, and now you're like making a different thing. Like, what the fuck? Same Powers. I saw a counter argument back when that getting yearly Star Wars movies and shows is actually fine because it's just a different form of getting yearly books and comics. Do you agree? I actually do sort of agree with that. I do think they need to slow down a little bit, but well, where are we going? Oh, fuck. YouTube is not behaving with hold on. Black Cinema said if you had to rewrite the villain from the Loaf storyline but keep the same, what would you do? I would just make it like she didn't like bakers or something. I don't know. The whole like bread thing was very weird. Or like I don't know. That's a good. I actually don't know what the. Maybe I would make it like she's always scared of bakers. Maybe I don't know. Same powers. I'm working on a tier list for every single Venture Brothers character about to be finished tonight. Can you plug it and fill it out yourself? Yeah. Is it in the message it to me in Discord? No, I don't think I'll do it tonight, but I'll try to remember tomorrow. Sorry. What drinks do you like to mix together? I actually have the only mixed drink I really have is sometimes I'll mix Dr. Pepper and cherry Coke if I'm getting a fountain soda, but having like an actual like cocktail or something, I get a Sprite, but it has to be a bottle, like glass bottle Sprite, and I have Old Bay vodka that someone got me, and that actually tastes really good. Bloxy, what's the worst live action adaptation that they could make that isn't Akira? Man, if they did Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson, that would be fucking horrible. They should never do that. Yeah. Anyway. Wessonator, favorite comic you've ever read? Probably Demon Bear or the Chris Claremont X-Men run would probably be my pick. Coffee, tea, or beer? Not plausible. Right now, coffee or water. I'm not a big tea person, actually. Nathaniel Foga, favorite Adam Sandler movie? Probably Punch Drunk Love, but if I'm actually going to pick an Adam Sandler movie, I'd pick Click, but I would like to rewatch Happy Gilmore soon. Did you know that Quentin Tarantino lied on his acting resume that he was in stuff like King Lear and Dawn of the Dead and claimed it was a special experiment later? Yeah, everyone used to lie on those things, but so I'm not like surprised, to be honest with you. A lot of people that used to be a little more common. You can't really get away with that. Okay. Black Sea, do you drink soda pop? And if so, what's your favorite? I stopped drinking it 8 years ago, but zero sugar has me too. I'm more of a Dr. Pepper person. I try not to too much. I do really like soda, actually, but I probably shouldn't. St. Powers, how does it feel knowing you bought your kids a Switch right before the Switch 2 came out, dooming them to be mocked by the peers? I did feel a little stupid about it, to be honest. I was like, oh, fuck. Especially there's a new Mario Kart. It's like, come on. Dante Gisselson, sorry if it's a bummer, but do you think that the lame advisory panel George Trump came up with is going to actually affect movie making? It's not like a censorship thing. They basically want more production in America, which isn't a bad idea, but they have to give tax breaks. That's basically what they need to do, and they haven't outlined what they're actually going to do. If it's just like a vanity position, fine, but like actually give tax breaks to get people back. And I think people would be okay with coming back, even though it's Trump and all that, if you did that correctly. Nathaniel Foga, favorite Green Day album? Dookie, 100%. Cornbread, do you agree with Twitter, which was trying to cancel Wallace from Wallace and Gromit for mistreating Gromit? Should Wallace be overthrown? I think Wallace can't. It ruins the series if Wallace properly appreciates Gromit. I think that would not. I don't know if I feel bad for him, but if you don't feel bad for him, the thing doesn't work. Same Powers, if Universal is so great, name the CEO then. If you can't, then that means Bob Iger and Dave Zaslav are better because it's better to be unknown than bad. Yeah, I guess so. Cornbread, hey, see that license plate behind you? Yeah. What if you swap the numbers? What? Oh, I didn't even think about it. You know what? I forgot that that's there. To be totally honest with you. Question from Zane Powers. Movie Bob said the console wars were just his personal Vietnam. Unironically, what was the equivalent of you with movies ignoring your own real life involvement in Vietnam? I don't know if like the console. Maybe when there are two asteroid movies. I know he said that in a stupid way. God, Movie Bob would be so much better if he. Rover Kamaholdo David Lynch news is just sad. Do you prefer the romance as a main plot or a subplot? Depends on the property. Oh, these are the last questions? Okay. Question, pretty random question. What's your favorite Terry Gilliam film? Oh, no question. It's Brazil. Zane Powers, do you ever get mad that a movie's protagonist is the chosen one? Then the universe revolves around the average person's life isn't important. Your life isn't that special. It doesn't really bother me too much, to be honest with you. Just kind of like, I don't know. I mean, it's like, it gets a little old sometimes, but, and the final question, Dante asks, who would be better to have an energy drink with, Frankenstein's monster or the mummy? I think I could outrun the mummy, so I'm going to say the mummy. I'm talking about a classic mummy, not the Brendan Fraser mummy. I mean, not his mom. I mean, anyway, it doesn't matter. All right, that is it. We're done. There should be something out tomorrow, maybe a short earlier. We'll see. And then you get the, I think it'll be Better Man tomorrow night. I'm kind of tired. This went later than I expected. It was obviously the longest stream ever. Everyone knows that. We don't need to question it or look into data. Thank you so much, everyone, for the super chats tonight. Is YouTube going to do this? Yes, you're gonna. Oh, come on! Really, you're gonna make me? God, what the fuck? Fucking YouTube. All right, I want to thank Taco Master, William Ellman, Black Saxwinkle, Austin, JG Panda, Austin, William Ellman, Caden the Wolf Fox, Zane Powers, Nathaniel Fogel, William Ellman, Sin Ram, Zane Powers, Sin Ram. Thank you, Sin Ram. Thank you, William Ellman, Zane Powers, and Medela Butterfly. Thank you all for being here. We will be back next week for the Oscar nominations. I'm going to break down all of them. And probably other movie news. I'm assuming that'll happen. But yeah, I don't know if there'll be a segment next week. It might just be news, then nominations breakdown. And then that'll be it. But we'll see. Maybe it'll be a slow news week. I assume it will. Oh, whoa. What's this? This is the last one there. Thank you. Caden the Wolf Fox. Thanks, Jim, for the stream discussion and making the day at least a bit better after the news. I just put on Eraserhead playing on Roku. Good night, man. Good night. Thank you for that. That brings a smile to my face. I didn't expect the last minute. You know what? I'll finish this. It's kind of dead anyway, but let's finish this 3x energy. It was fine. I don't know if I'll ever do this again. Anyway, good night, all. I'm sorry if I didn't do the timestamps. I'm just a tired person. I would like to do them at one point, but we'll see. Maybe not. I don't know. But thank you for watching. Sorry about that. Have a good night. Enjoy the videos this weekend. Be cool. And I will see you all next time. Subscribe, if you want to and stuff. And good night. And see you next time. Peace out.